Today, we celebrate the extraordinary life of Malcolm-Jamal Warner, a talented artist who touched millions of lives through his work on screen, behind the camera, and in the recording studio. At 54, we've lost not just a beloved actor, but a multifaceted artist who spent his entire career breaking barriers and challenging expectations. From the moment he stepped onto our screens as Theo Huxtable, Malcolm showed us what it meant to be authentic, talented, and purposeful. Today, we honor his memory by reflecting on a career that spanned 4 decades and a life dedicated to meaningful storytelling and artistic expression. When Malcolm-Jamal Warner joined The Cosby Show, at just 14 years old, he became part of something revolutionary. As Theo Huxtable, he wasn't just playing a character, he was helping to redefine how black families were portrayed on television. The Cosby Show legitimized the black middle class for both black and white America, showing a reality that had always existed but hadn't been represented on television, as Malcolm himself reflected. This wasn't just entertainment, it was cultural transformation. His portrayal of Theo resonated with audiences because it was real. Here was a teenage boy dealing with typical challenges, school struggles, first crushes, family dynamics, in ways that felt genuine and relatable. Malcolm brought a natural warmth and authenticity to the role that made Theo feel like everyone's favorite younger brother or son. The show received tens of thousands of fan letters from people saying, "Thank you so much for this show," proving just how much this representation mattered to families across America. Malcolm's performance earned him an Emmy nomination in 1986 for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, recognition that was well-deserved for such a young performer. For 8 seasons, from 1984 to 1992, Malcolm grew up on our television screens, and we grew up with him. His evolution from a young teen to a mature young adult happened in real time, creating a unique bond between actor and audience that few performers ever achieve. When the series ended, Malcolm reflected that, "We were still on top enough to go out on top, but we were ready to live our own lives." Even at a young age, he understood the importance of artistic growth and the courage it takes to move beyond a defining role. What set Malcolm apart from many child actors was his determination to prove his range and versatility. He could have easily been typecast after The Cosby Show, but instead, he embarked on a journey to show the world just how multifaceted his talents were. Malcolm and Eddie, which ran from 1996 to 2000, paired him with comedian Eddie Griffin in a buddy comedy that showcased Malcolm's comedic timing and chemistry with co-stars. The show proved he could carry a series as a leading man, bringing his natural charisma to a completely different type of character. But Malcolm's ambitions extended far beyond acting. He stepped behind the camera as a director, working on episodes of beloved shows including The Cosby Show, All That, Kenan and Kel, and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. His directorial work demonstrated a deep understanding of storytelling and a commitment to quality that reflected his professional standards. His recent television credits included The Resident, The Wonder Years, Reboot, Grownish, and 911, showing his continued relevance in modern television. He also appeared in series like Touched by an Angel, Community, Key and Peele, Suits, Sons of Anarchy, and American Horror Story, a diverse range that proved his ability to adapt to any genre or style. Malcolm understood that longevity in entertainment required constant evolution, and he embraced every opportunity to grow as an artist. He never rested on his early success but continued to challenge himself with new roles and creative ventures throughout his career. What many fans didn't realize was that Malcolm-Jamal Warner was also an incredibly talented musician. This wasn't just a celebrity dabbling in music, this was genuine artistry that earned him the highest recognition in the industry. In 2015, he won a Grammy Award for Best Traditional R&B Performance for the song, Jesus Children. This achievement was particularly meaningful because it showed Malcolm's artistic range extended far beyond acting. He was also nominated for a Grammy in 2023 for Best Spoken Word Poetry Album, demonstrating his continued growth as a recording artist. Music wasn't just a side project for Malcolm, it was a passion that allowed him to express himself in ways that acting sometimes couldn't. His musical work showed depth, sensitivity, and a commitment to meaningful lyrics and authentic performances. As a new parent, Malcolm spoke about how parenthood influenced his music. "Being a new parent, I have a lot of new material for the music. It's really awesome, and right now, my daughter's 4 months, so I don't have to tell her no. This quote perfectly captures Malcolm's ability to find joy and inspiration in life's everyday moments. His Grammy wins and nominations weren't just personal achievements, they were validation of his artistic vision and proof that his talents extended far beyond what audiences first knew him for. Malcolm's artistic expression didn't stop with acting and music. He was also a gifted poet who understood the power of words to heal, inspire, and provoke thought. His poetry reflected his deep thinking about life, culture, and community, showing yet another dimension of his creative soul. Last year, he launched his podcast, Not All Hood, with the goal of continuing to be a voice that explores the diverse experiences of the Black community and touch on themes of representation in media. This project was particularly close to his heart because it addressed something he felt passionate about. When we talk about the Black community, we tend to speak of it as a monolith when the reality is there are so many different facets of the Black community, and we wanted to have a space where we can really explore, discuss, and acknowledge all of those different aspects, Malcolm explained about his podcast. This work showed Malcolm's continued commitment to meaningful storytelling and representation. Even in his final projects, he was focused on using his platform to amplify important voices and perspectives that needed to be heard. His podcast work demonstrated that Malcolm never stopped being an educator and advocate, roles that began with The Cosby Show and continued throughout his entire career. Malcolm's character was perhaps most evident in how he handled challenging situations throughout his career. When sexual misconduct allegations about Bill Cosby came to light in 2015, Malcolm acknowledged his sadness, saying he felt the sitcom's legacy had been tarnished by the allegations. My biggest concern is when it comes to images of people of color on television and film, no matter what negative stereotypes of people of color, we've always had The Cosby Show to hold up against that, he said, showing his deep understanding of the show's cultural significance. Malcolm described the situation as painful, explaining that Cosby had been one of my mentors and played a big role in my life as a friend and mentor. His response showed both loyalty and pain, reflecting the complexity of the situation. Through it all, Malcolm maintained his dignity and professionalism. He never let controversies define him or derail his career. Instead, he continued to focus on his own artistic journey and the positive impact he could make through his work. This grace under pressure was characteristic of Malcolm throughout his life. He handled success and challenges with equal poise, always maintaining his integrity and commitment to his craft. Beyond his professional achievements, Malcolm was remembered by friends and colleagues as someone who remained humble and grounded despite his success. He navigated child stardom and emerged as a well-adjusted adult who used his platform responsibly. Malcolm was a devoted father who often spoke about how parenthood changed his perspective on life and art. His love for his daughter was evident in interviews, and he frequently mentioned how becoming a parent influenced his creative work and personal priorities. He was also someone who understood the importance of giving back and using his influence for positive change. Throughout his career, he supported various causes and worked to mentor young artists who were following in his footsteps. Friends and colleagues consistently described Malcolm as generous with his time, supportive of other artists, and committed to work that mattered. He chose projects that aligned with his values and used his fame to shine light on important issues and underrepresented voices. Malcolm's approach to fame was refreshing. He seemed to understand that celebrity was a tool that could be used for good, and he consistently made choices that reflected that understanding. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's impact on entertainment and culture cannot be overstated. Through The Cosby Show, he helped change how Black families were portrayed on television, showing the world images that were both authentic and aspirational. But his legacy extends far beyond one iconic role. As an actor, director, musician, poet, and podcast host, Malcolm showed us what it means to be a complete artist. He demonstrated that success isn't about sticking to one thing you're good at, it's about continuously growing, learning, and expressing yourself in new ways. His Grammy wins proved that talent transcends categories, and his later television work showed that child actors could evolve into serious, respected performers. His podcast work demonstrated his commitment to meaningful dialogue and community building. For many viewers, Theo Huxtable wasn't just a character, he was a friend who grew up alongside them. Malcolm brought such authenticity to that role that audiences felt a personal connection that lasted decades. But he also showed them that it was possible to honor the past while building something new. Malcolm's career serves as a blueprint for how to handle fame, success, and the inevitable challenges that come with a life in the public eye. He showed that it's possible to maintain your integrity, pursue your passions, and use your platform for good. His work will continue to inspire future generations of artists who see in his example proof that you can be successful while staying true to yourself and your values. Malcolm-Jamal Warner lived a life of purpose, creativity, and authenticity. From his breakthrough role as Theo Huxtable to his Grammy-winning music, from his directing work to his thought-provoking podcast, he consistently chose to use his talents in ways that mattered. He showed us that being an artist means more than just entertaining people. It means using your gifts to reflect the world back to itself, to challenge perceptions, and to create connections between people who might otherwise never understand each other. As we remember Malcolm today, let's celebrate not just what he accomplished, but how he accomplished it, with grace, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. His legacy lives on in every rerun that makes us smile, every song that moves us, and every young artist he inspired to pursue their dreams. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was more than America's favorite TV son, he was an artist, a mentor, and a voice for positive change. His memory will continue to inspire, and his work will continue to bring joy to audiences for generations to come.